And you're listening to Take Back with Zac, where we cover the hottest topics in the sporting world, including deep dives into the greatest teams to ever exist. The Chargers, the Anaheim Angels, and the Los Angeles Lakers. This show is available everywhere you get your podcasts, and the videos on YouTube. We are live on Twitch and YouTube Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. and every night following the NBA playoff games. I should say that quicker. On today's show, we're going to be covering... How do I say this? We're going to be covering basketball and the teams that play in basketball. I have my top 10 players of the playoffs so far. I also, guys, side note for... All right, okay. Now I'm just not able to do the show. All right. How much time on that one? No way! Guys, how can I even do the show? So I cannot say that until 1:10. I could write it down, though. I could think about it. Wow. All right. You guys are the worst. I love you so much. Well, this is already so fun. I was like, hey, maybe if I add these channel points thing, I don't know if anybody's going to use them up. Wow. Okay. All right, Oreo the cat. It's official. Let's talk some football. I also have my top 5 things that I want to happen in the NBA draft lottery. So the NBA draft lottery is on Sunday, right before the games start, and I have the 5 funniest things that could happen with the draft lottery. Fellas, I want to start the show, but before we start the show, guys, listen, real quick. The one thing you guys can never ban, you just don't ban anything with like verse or okay, all right. Okay, all right. I gotta keep track of these. Just don't ban anything with like verse or Bible. That would just not be cool. I'm actually just not going to listen to those. Okay, so I cannot say that word, and I cannot say that word till I'm just. All right. I'm just in a bit of a pickle. I'm trying to write all these down and see like when can I start saying those words, and it's gotten very hard. This show begins the same way every single day, and that is with the verse of the day. Today's verse comes to you from Colossians 4. This was a letter written by Paul to the early church. Paul was in jail when he wrote this letter. And, like, I don't know if anyone here has been to jail. It sounds like a horrible time. I struggle with the idea of having a pure heart even when in jail. But Paul writes, devote yourselves to prayer with an alert mind. Dude, it'd be funny if the Bible had one of those words you guys banned for me. Devote yourselves to prayer with an alert mind and a thankful heart. Pray for us, too, that God will give us many opportunities to speak about his mysterious plan concerning Christ. This is such a throwing shade at God. Yeah, by the way, this plan is so mysterious, bro. I'm in jail right now. This is why I'm here in chains. Pray that I will proclaim this message as clearly as I should. Even chained up, dude, he's praying. And I'm empathizing with this. Life's been a struggle recently, bro. This show's been very, very hard on me. Just like waking up every day and believing and having faith has been difficult. Just pray that I'll continue to claim this message boldly. Live wisely among those who are not believers and make the most of every opportunity to let your conversation be gracious and attractive so that you'll have the right response for everybody. It's not always easy to have the right response for the people around you, but it is important, I think, to just pray for wisdom and clarity in those moments. This show also does a movie of the day. Where's the drum roll? Today's movie of the day is True Lies. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Am I allowed to say that? I'm going to wait until calls open and redeem it for Take Back with Zac. And that has always amazed me on how many books Paul was able to write in jail. Brother was just writing letters left and right. It is pretty crazy. You guys are going to be horrible today. I can't wait till you run out of channel points. Wait, don't you guys have like 47,000? What's up, Zach? Good to see you, bro. True Lies. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a special agent, Harry Tasker, although to his wife Helen, he's just a boring this is so hard. Computer salesman. When Harry's two lives unexpectedly collide, both he and Helen find themselves in the clutches of international terrorists fighting to save not only their marriage, but their lives. Directed by James Cameron and crammed with incredible special effects. True Lies is an exhibition exhilarating mix of non-stop action and romantic comedy. True Lies, everybody. Arnold Schwarzenegger. And let's press play. Together we all have almost 100,000. You guys can just like start looking up words in the English. What are Veenie's most used words? You know what I mean? Also, fellas, please, dude. Like, I've been struggling really, really badly with clips. If you guys can please like chat, like clip that. If I say something funny, it'll just help me out because I've been trying to focus on like the main show and it's hard to focus on clips as well in that whole thing. But wow. Don't count me. I don't have that much. Zachy Man fan, you're on my side. It's a lot of words we could ban. You guys are, yeah. I need to up the price on that from 2,000 way up. That was 6 minutes ago. OKC, Oklahoma City Thunder. 5 minutes ago, Lakers, LeBron. I have always been one that struggles mightily with things that are outside of my control. When I got accepted to Boston University's film program, I was thrilled. Gosh dang it. I was thrilled and okay. That's funny. I just can't talk about them all show. We're just going to restart this whole thing. Come on. Lock in with me, fellas. Story time. I've always been one that struggles mightily with things that are outside of my control. When I got accepted to Boston University's film program, I was thrilled and had a great sense of accomplishment rush over me. At the time, only one other school had accepted me, which was Emerson College in downtown Boston. It seemed pretty clear at the time that the Lord wanted me to go to Boston. I'd spent 4 very difficult years in community college preparing to transfer, which proved to be a lot more difficult than originally expected. Ultimately, we got it done, but it was a tough road traveled. I applied 3 different times to USC, got denied every time. I applied 3 different times to Chapman, I got denied every time. It was 4 very, very difficult years to get into a school, but we finally did. I ended up choosing BU over Emerson for a number of reasons, and to this day, I am thrilled with my choice. The thing I did not know until signing my acceptance letter and meeting with a counselor was that they would not be accepting my Screenwriting 101 or Film Production 1 credits that I took at Santa Ana College. This essentially meant that I would need to retake these classes at BU, which were sophomore level classes, and I was entering in as a junior. I had 2 options given to me by the school. I could retake the prerequisite courses for the film production track and graduate on time, but I would never be able to participate in Prod 3. So, Production 3 is essentially like our senior thesis class. The entire senior thesis class applies to Production 3. And if you want to direct, you have to submit a script. Only 4 scripts get chosen each year. So it's a highly competitive class. It's a very, very tough course. It's an application-only course. It's essentially at the very end of your college career, you come together as the film program, as you've gone through every single class, you do Prod 3, and at the end of it, you walk out with a film. And that's essentially your senior thesis project. So, my choices were I either jump in as a junior, don't take the prereqs, and then never be able to do Prod 3, or I could delay my graduation an entire year and $70,000 in tuition so I could take the prerequisites and have time to jump into Production 3 my senior year. For me, the answer was very, very simple. Take control. I wanted to take Prod 3 and graduate on time, which my counselor said was totally impossible. So, I ended up scheduling a meeting with the assistant to the dean of film production, and he highlighted for me exactly why my credits would not transfer over. The reasoning was just, I learned how to edit on Adobe Premiere, but the school used Avid. And so in their Prod 1 courses, where I learned Premiere, they learned Avid. So, I would need to learn that. Also in my Prod 1 course at Santa Ana College, we did not learn or do a deep dive into lighting, which was imperative for me to have accomplishments at BU, given their higher level production classes. So I didn't do lighting and I didn't learn on Avid. So that day I proposed a plan. I would ask my teacher at Santa Ana and see if he would be willing to send a letter on my behalf saying that although lighting was not a focal point of the class I took, I got specialized one-on-one training with the head of cinematography, that didn't even exist, while ADing on a web series we were shooting at my school. He was willing to do it, and BU bought it. So, lighting, check one. Now for the editing. There was no way around this one. I couldn't just fake my way and say, oh yeah, I know how to use Avid. I wasn't able to fake it. I asked BU to give me 1 week. I said I will turn around and edit better than they have seen from any other Prod 1 student this year, and I will do the whole thing on Avid. I will learn the program, and I will teach it to myself, and I will turn around and edit in a week. That's better than anything you got. They did not believe I'd be able to do this. They did not believe I'd be able to teach myself an entire editing program. So they laughed and said, go ahead. 5 days later, I submitted my edit, and the dean of the School of Communications retroactively accepted all of my transfer credits from Santa Ana College as I accomplished my goal. I took control of the situation. I got to graduate on time and participate in production 3. I got to have my cake and eat it too. Doing all of that was very, very difficult. It was something I needed to do, though. I ended up submitting a script to Prod 3, and I got selected, luckily, to direct. My script was chosen. I wasn't even supposed to be in this class, and my script got chosen. I got to be a director. The movie I made was called Roses and Red Noses. It was a romantic comedy about clowns falling in love with each other, as street-performing clowns tend to do at the Boston Commons, in the middle of downtown Boston, the same place they shot Good Will Hunting. Our film ended up winning Best Picture at our school's film festival called the Redstones. The number 1 cash prize for winning the Redstones was a camera. It was this camera right here. It was this camera right here that had sat in a box for 5 years, and I didn't even use it until I started this show. All this to say, I struggle mightily with things outside of my control, even to the point where when something is outside of my scope of manipulation, I still find a way to take the reins. However, I will never, ever be able to take control of my sports teams. Honestly, I wish I could. I wish I could just stop caring about my teams. I wish I could stop caring about the Lakers. Watching them get completely reffed out of a game in the most hostile building in the league against the best team we have seen in the past 10 years was one of the most frustrating experiences I've gone through as a fan. All of this to say, I absolutely hate the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oreo, we can't do that one. I hate this team with absolutely everything in my bones. They don't have to play this way. That is point number 1. The Oklahoma City Thunder do not need to play this way. They are so gifted. They are so talented. They are so deep. They are so well coached. Every single aspect of their game is dialed in at a championship level. When I look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, that is an accumulation of great talent. James Harden is a future Hall of Famer. Donovan Mitchell on his way there. Mobley and Jared Allen are 2 of the best big men that we have in the game. What's the word I just used? They're an acclamation of talent. A pool of very, very gifted athletic basketball players. Yet they are not winners like the Thunder are. The Thunder are winners through and through. They have an amazing coach, an amazing roster that's well constructed and built to win. Look at every other team in the league. It's like they have a hole. They have something that's a little bit off. They have something that doesn't fit. Oh, they're really good here, but they're missing a big man. You know, we were talking about the Celtics. Great talent all around. They don't have a big man or a true point guard. The Thunder have absolutely everything they need to win. They don't need to play this way. They platoon in a team of lottery picks and first rounders off their bench. They have a whole team of lottery picks and first rounders sitting on the bench, not even playing basketball. They are so deep that when it's my favorite part of the game is when they blow a team out, 3 minutes left, everyone subs in all of their scrubs and they platoon in their whole bench. Their entire team, that team that they platoon in like late games in scrub time that team would be a 7 seed in the playoffs. Like, they have a good enough bench to be a playoff team. If you split the OKC Thunder into OKC A and OKC B, that team, both teams, would be absolutely incredible. Alex Caruso, Hartenstein, Lou Dort, those guys play such tough defense, especially Caruso and Hartenstein. They play such tough defense, and really every Thunder player does. They're in the passing lanes, deflecting every pass that comes their way. They're blocking shots. They're stealing. They are so feisty on defense. They are absolutely everywhere. You cannot get a fast one by them. You can't sneak anything by this team. They play such hard-nosed defense. It's got to make those guys sick to their stomach watching this team play basketball. You know what it reminds me of more than anything? It reminds me of the tush push, right? One, for the competitive nature of it on the court. It's one of those things that all the OKC Thunder fans are like, yeah, you could do it too. Did he flop bad last night? Yeah, probably a couple times. I think every player does. Did I say anything about OKC flopping yet? Completely lost my train of thought. Thank you. Do you remember how frustrated America was a year and a half, 2 years ago, when the tush push was just unstoppable? And all the Eagles fans are like, you could do it too. And it's like, not really. You know what I mean? Because you guys have designed a team that's so good, and you came up with this play that really only you guys can run super, super well, because you guys have that quarterback with that kind of power. The tush push, dude, the NFL had a meeting about it. They had an entire meeting about the tush push. Like, is this not good for the game? The result was they can't just ban the tush push. But America saw something with their eyes that was not pleasing to the game. No one sat there and was like, oh, I love on 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2 when they run the tush push. That's awesome. The only people that liked it or were proponents of it were people that were fans of the Eagles. There were even Philly people that were like, man, I hate the tush push so much. I absolutely hate that we do it. I like that we're winning games. I like that when it's 4th and short, I know we can get an automatic first down, but I hate it. The reason we hated it is because it was not pleasing. It wasn't football. It doesn't feel like football. It feels closer to rugby, right? It wasn't like a gnarly competitive advantage, although it was an advantage for them. It wasn't something exclusive to them, like every team could run it. But ultimately, it was bad for the sport. No one sat here and was like, I love the tush push. Everyone hates the tush push. The way the Thunder play basketball is the exact same way. Almost every single time a guy shoots a three, they instantly scissor kick their legs out and then fall to the floor. We've talked enough about Shea and Chet and them foul baiting, right? That's fine. You know, when a defender is straight up like this and you throw your whole body into him and you then throw the ball into the air and the refs call a foul, that's not aesthetically pleasing. That's not fun to watch. When the Warriors had their dynasty run, yeah, we hated the Warriors. Dude, we hated the Warriors. We hated Steph. We hated Clay, Draymond. We hated when KD went over there. But every single night we tuned into those games knowing we might see something that we've never seen before. Because at least what they were doing was the most entertaining form of basketball we had ever had at that point. We didn't have the three-point shooting that we have today back then. When the Warriors started doing it, it was like, oh my gosh, this is a new form of basketball. I've never seen this before. It was all highlighted, that dynasty from the Warriors. It was, yes, success. It was winning. It was championships. But at the same time, it was incredibly entertaining. It pushed the game forward to the point where now the entire game has changed. The pace that 2015 Warriors team played at, per 100 possessions, was the fastest in the league. We had never seen a team play a faster brand of basketball than we saw from that Warriors team. It changed the league so much to where that Warriors team from 2015 this season would have been 25th in pace of play. It was the fastest thing we'd ever seen. And now today, it'd be one of the slowest. The three-point shooting has only increased in the NBA because of what that team did. That 2015 Warriors team, that dynasty run, pushed the game of basketball forward into a positive direction. We didn't like the winning because our team wasn't doing it, but we at least tuned in every game knowing that we might see something that we've never seen before. It was aesthetically pleasing. It was a great game of basketball. That is not the case with OKC. That is far from the case with this Thunder team. To earn respect from sports fans takes two things. It's success and pedigree. And number two is wow. LaMelo Ball has more respect amongst NBA fans than the entire Thunder roster. LaMelo Ball has not won more than a singular play-in game. Yet what LaMelo does on the court is so fun and exciting that we appreciate his greatness. And we thank LaMelo. Every time I watch the Hornets play, I'm like, that's awesome. They got blown out by 30, but it was super fun. I love that Hornets team. We have a ton of respect for them as a team. We don't respect OKC because we don't like watching them play basketball. It's a nasty brand. I know a lot of people are like, you just hate us because we're good. That is so far from the truth, man. That is so far from the truth. Everyone hated the Warriors because they were good, but we loved watching them play basketball. We hate the Thunder because they're good, yes, but we also hate watching them play basketball. It's not fun. If my team wasn't playing them, I don't think I'd be watching their series. I watched maybe 10 minutes of the series with the Suns because I hate watching this team play basketball. I feel bad for the OKC fans, like JD. I feel really bad for the fans because you guys are out here trying to defend your team, which I think is a valuable standpoint and a place to stand. It's just like you're trying to defend the devil. It's like the entire league, even ESPN, bro. The NBA pays ESPN to broadcast their games, right? And to talk about the sport. That's a partnership. Today, all over First Take, all over Get Up, all over Inside the NBA, all over NBA Today. It's about how unesthetically pleasing this Thunder team is and how awful it is to watch them play basketball. That's horrible for the NBA. I'm not even saying this from the perspective of someone who cares about an individual team. Dude, put me away, dude. Let me just look at it from a bird's eye view and I can look down on this game. What the Thunder are doing is not good for basketball. You're like, oh, every team can play this way. Could you imagine how horrible that would be? Could you imagine how horrible it would be if Cade Cunningham stopped playing basketball this way and started just playing like Shea? Could you imagine if the Pistons, who are known for their defensive prowess and hard-nosed basketball, and when you punch us in the face, we're going to get back up? Could you imagine if they started playing like the Thunder? Could you imagine if the entire NBA was like, all right, we're just going to start doing what they're doing? It would be horrible. The viewership would go down to the basement, and serious changes would need to happen in the NBA for people to watch again. I don't think America will respect this team until they're impressed by what they do on the floor. We hated the Warriors, but we were impressed by what they did. We hated that Kevin Durant joined the team, but we were amazed by them breaking the Bulls record and going 83-9 or 73-9. There was amazement. There was shock. There was exuberance. Watching those teams play basketball was fun and exciting, and it let me know, wow, that's the best of the best. That is so good. The reason it's so frustrating with the Thunder, and the reason America will never respect them, is because as good as they are, we don't watch them play basketball and are like, that's awesome. We watch them play basketball and we say, it's rigged. The refs are on their side. And I can't blame America. There's even all these stats about the Thunder, I think, have the 17th. They're 17th in attempted free throws this season, including the playoffs. That's not high, right? But that's not where we're mad. Personally, me. Your casual fan is going to see the offensive stuff and be like, they're flopping and fouling. The refs are putting them on the line. That's actually, the stats don't back that up. The stats really don't back that up. The part that's frustrating is Lou Dort is allowed to play defense like a football player and body check LeBron James every time he's on the floor. Yet when we go on the other end of the court and we're playing defense, Chet Holmgren bumped into Austin Reeves and fell to the floor and they called a foul. Chet Holmgren's a 7-footer bumping into guys who are 6'3" and then falling on the ground. And then, They play such hard-nosed defense. It is so fun to watch them play defense. Realistically, their offense is their defense. They forced 21 turnovers and got 26 points off of turnovers last night. That's the ball game, folks. The whole game got boiled down to that. You know how many points the Lakers got off of Thunder turnovers? 4. The Thunder scored 26 points off of Lakers turnovers. That's a plus 22-point differential in a 19-point game. That's the difference in the game right there. Their turnovers turn into offense. And the reason they're so good offensively is not because of the foul baiting. It's not because of the flopping. It's because SGA is a walking bucket, and they force so many turnovers that it leads to easy offense. The part that people absolutely hate more than anything is that the way that they play defense is not allowed by the opposing team. The refs let them play hard. They let Lou Dort lock up LeBron James like he's Max freaking Crosby. But they don't let Austin Reeves body check Chet Holmgren. The worst part as a fan is like, I hate watching it. It's like, it's not fun to watch. You know, I used to hate soccer, and then I started watching soccer, and I was like, soccer's like pretty fun to watch. I used to not like hockey, and then I started watching hockey, and I'm like, hockey is so entertaining. Like, hockey is so entertaining. The sport on the ice is an amazing sport. And you know what? So is basketball. Basketball is an amazingly fun and entertaining sport to watch. If you've ever been to a game, dude, the score does not matter. Anytime a guy throws down, it is so impressive to watch. Watching people shoot threes, watching people play defense, score, alley-oops, steals, blocks, turnovers. It's an inherently entertaining game, and that's the only reason we watch it. You know why we watch baseball? You know why we watch baseball? Because it's been around since 1850. Because our great-great-grandfather and his son and his son and his son and now you grew up watching baseball. It's a lineage that's been passed down for over almost 200 years. It's regional pride. The reason the WNBA is not massive, the reason the WNBA is not a huge sport, is not because it's chicks. It's not because they're not good at hoops. It's because it's only been around for like 30 years. Baseball's been around for 150 seasons. So yeah, you're like, WNBA games, like the sport of basketball, is much faster paced. It's much easier to be like, that's entertaining and fun than watching a baseball game. Hey, here we go, pitcher. Here we go, come on now. Here we go, kid. Like, baseball is not, like, entertaining, right? If baseball got started today, and I was like, hey, I started a game called baseball, people would be like, that stinks. I'm not watching that. That sucks. It's so boring. If basketball got invented today, and they're like, hey, there's a new sport called basketball, people would be like, whoa, this is really fun. The Thunder are making basketball not fun, and they're making it not a good game to watch. It's one of the most aesthetically pleasing things that we have in sports is watching guys hoop. Watching an AI crossover. Seeing Luka Doncic pull off some Luka magic. Watching Kyrie Irving just dribble. Watching LeBron James alley-oop with his son. It's such an entertaining sport, and the Thunder have made it incredibly hard to watch. And for that reason, America will never respect them. I thought the Lakers played well in this game, even though they did have 21 turnovers and lost by double digits. But Given the circumstance with your best player on the bench in that arena against that team and the refs being against you every step of the way, the Lakers played a darn good basketball game. I don't think it's crazy to say that if Luka plays in this series, it'd probably be split 1-1. Yeah, I know we would lose some defensive production. I know that our defense would drop a bit with Luka Doncic out there, but the man puts up 34 points per game. His scoring would absolutely make up for it. We lost the game last night by 19. Throw Luka Doncic in there. How many more points do the Thunder scored? They put up 125 last night. What, did they put up 135 with Luka out there? That means all Luka would need is 20 points and they win the game. Sorry, 28 points and they win the game. The dude averages 34. It's frustrating. The Lakers had a lead in the third quarter, and then the Thunder went on a plus 18 run with SGA on the bench. They have so much depth that when your guys are gassed, they bring in fresh legs that can absolutely murder you. They have a whole bench full of lottery picks just sitting there fully rested, ready to go. They brought in Jared McCain last night. The guy played 20 minutes in the first round. 20 minutes! They didn't need him. He's now got 8 threes in this round against the Lakers, absolutely balling out. That's a guy they just didn't even use last round. And they're like, I guess we'll use him now. AJ Mitchell is like an actual number one option on some teams. Isaiah Joe is barely getting any run, and he's incredible. Casey Wallace is so good. They have dudes on dudes on dudes on dudes on dudes. They are so impressive and so good. I just wish we could celebrate them. We can blame SGA and the Thunder all we want, and I do because they're annoying, but the root of the problem is still the way the game is officiated. I think it is. What's up, Elliot? What's up, Sugo? Have I ever gotten a prank caller? No. It's Sugo, you're getting to the heart of the point. And the problem is it's not necessarily the Thunder's fault. Just like the tush push is not the Eagles' fault. The Eagles didn't manipulate the rules of the game. They play the game. And they found a play that fits within the confines of the rules. The NBA got rid of hand checking a decade ago, and it's now led to this. It's now led to the way that the game is being officiated is soft. I hate the idea that if I'm in a defensive position and you launch your... Check. Did I lose my mic? Check one. Am I good? Am I good now? Back. Thank you. Yeah, I need to get a new XLR cable, I believe. Something. This one's very old. Thinking about it. Wow. Yeah, this one's almost 7 years old. Crazy. The Eagles are not doing anything illegal when they run the tush push. They found something that fits within the confines of the rules. And yeah, it's not great. We don't like watching it. It's not aesthetically pleasing to the eye, but it's not illegal. It's so not illegal that last year they formed a competition committee to see if they should make it illegal. They're like, hey, this thing sucks. We hate watching it. It's not very good for the sport. Should we make it illegal? And they're like, nah, let's not. Let's keep it. So we kept it. Adam Silver went on a absolute hysterical mission to combat tanking in the NBA to the point where he completely butchered the entire draft lottery for the next 3 years. Yet the biggest problem that he was facing was sitting right in front of him. It's the way that the game is being officiated. So for Thunder fans out there, I feel very, very bad that people today are like, the refs are rigged the game. You guys have the refs on your side. No, you guys are taking advantage of the referees. You're taking advantage of the game. And the refs are just calling it as they see it. They're calling it poorly. The thing that's the most frustrating is there were 47 fouls called in that Thunder and Laker game. It's a 48-minute basketball game. 48-minute basketball game. You had 47 fouls. That's a foul per minute. I don't care what side you're on. I don't care if it was your first time watching basketball. I don't care if it was your last time watching basketball. That was terrible. 47 fouls in a 48-minute game. Could you imagine that in the NFL? Can you imagine a flag a minute in the NFL? Roger Goodell would go out onto the field at halftime and fillet the referees in front of the whole stadium. It would be like the proletariats bringing the bourgeoisie in front of the Arc de Triomphe and hanging them in the gallows and bringing out the guillotine. Could you imagine a flag per minute in the NFL? That's what we got last night. We got a foul per minute in a basketball game. Question, though, don't you think you can't double Shea if J-Dub was in, so it goes both ways with injuries? I don't know what you mean. I think you'd still double Shea if J-Dub is in. You lose out on an opportunity there. Just J-Dub's going to hit shots. I would know. JJ Redick has a game plan for that. I think they've thought about it. You know, we got SGA in foul trouble early in that game. He had 3 fouls in the first half, and then I don't know what happened the rest of the game. So we stopped attacking him on defense. Like, the guy's got 3 fouls, start attacking him on defense. And he got the 4th foul. He had to sit in the 3rd quarter. We took the lead. We're like, SGA's out. Let's go. Plus 18 with him on the bench. It doesn't matter if SGA's in or not. That's why I struggle with the whole SGA MVP thing, is like, you could take him off the team. The team is still the number 1 seed in the West. Take SGA off that team. They're still the best team in the West. Do that with any other team in the NBA. Remove their best player, and they're not very good. The other thing, JJ Redick after the game said LeBron has the worst whistle of any sports star in the league, and he's 1,000,000% right. One of the reasons from JJ is that bigger players usually seek out contact and don't get tossed in the wind like the smaller guys do. Like, do you see the way SGA flails his arms like a toddler who doesn't get their way? Yeah. LeBron can't do that. LeBron's too big to do that. Could you imagine if LeBron went up for a shot and went, ah? They're like, no, dude, you're too big. That's clearly a flop. But the smaller frame guys are able to flail their arms like the inflatable guys in front of a car dealership, and they get calls that way. It doesn't look physically possible if LeBron does that, whereas SGA, it does because he's such a small, tiny little guy. He can flail his arms and get calls because that makes sense. In the physics eye of the referee, it makes sense when he flails his arms, like, oh, he must have been fouled. LeBron flails his arms like he's flopping, he's faking it. But it goes deeper than just size. Joel Embiid's a 7-footer who gets crushed all the time down low. He gets calls. Karl Anthony Towns, he's another 7-footer. He gets hammered all night long. He gets fouls. There are so many big man stars that get the proper whistle, but LeBron doesn't. It's just insanely unfair. It's frustrating. And despite never getting that star treatment from the refs his entire career, he is still the all-time scoring champion. Man, people get on him for flopping when it's literally all he can do to get a call sometimes. LeBron has to flop to get calls. We don't like it when it happens, but, you know, guys. We're 42 minutes into the show. For my mental health and yours, I think it's best if we just move on with our day and have some fun with it. Let's stop talking about this game. Let's move on to tonight's games, and let's get into my top 10 playoff performers of this year. I got it for you guys live. I did this last night. I got some feedback from the chat, and so I adjusted a couple of things for my top 10 playoff performers of the year so far. Sugo said, what about the Dort dude? I think I completely understand that, but I mean, LeBron is able to score more because J-Dub isn't on him. I mean, Lou Dort's playing really, really good defense on him. Really good defense. The thing that's frustrating is Lou Dort is like tackling him and like punching him in the gut and like hitting him so hard and body checking LeBron James. And none of those are getting called. And then Marcus Smart like puts his hand on Chet. Chet falls over and it's a foul. That's where the people are so mad. That's where people are mad. Like, watch the way Lou Dort plays defense on LeBron, and watch all the non-calls, and then watch the way the Lakers get called on defense for like blowing like someone. Whoa, I'm so sorry, guys. That was Daddy, chill. Like blowing on someone. You know what I mean? My top 10 playoff performers so far of the season. Number 1, Cade Cunningham, obviously. He's averaging the most points per game in the playoffs. He got the most total points in the playoffs. He's averaging 31, 5, and 7. He's shooting 45% from the field, 40% from 3. Dude, Cade does more for this team on an individual level than any other player in the playoffs. The team goes as far as he will take them, and oh yeah, he also plays lockdown defense. At 2, I've got Rudy Gobert. He's the reason this Timberwolves team is even here in the first place. He spent 6 games doing something nobody has ever been able to do, which is shut down the most dominant offensive player we've ever seen in Nikola Jokic. He's also now kind of doing the same thing to Wemby, who's below all of his averages from the regular season. Below on rebounds, below on assists, below on points. The only thing that he's up on is blocks, but that's because he had a 12 block game. And I mean, maybe 6 of those were goaltends, so take that as you will. At 3, I've got OG Anunoby. Bones Highland deserves on this list, low key. All right. Let's work on an honorable mentions list. We'll work on an honorable mentions list. Oh, Sugo, I don't know if you heard this, but you can now use your channel points to ban a word. So I can't say a word for 5 minutes, or you can mute somebody in the chat. So you can use your channel points to mute someone in the chat. Should I mute JD? Time out somebody. Yeah, there it is. So you guys can start timing each other out. I flipped OG and Maxey. I did. OG is the most consistent player for this Knicks team, and the Knicks are playing better than the Sixers. The Knicks are looking like the best team in the East, and so I just wanted to give the best guy on the best team in the East a little bit more credit over Tyrese Maxey. He every single game he gives you 20 points. He locks down your best offensive player. He's shooting 62% from the field and 54% from 3. His scoring efficiency is unbelievable. This dude just goes out and gives you efficient scoring and plays incredible defense every single night. Cat has taken some games off here and there. Brunson has his issues. OG Anunoby stays steady and has been a massive factor to New York's success. Tyrese Maxey is number 4. He's averaging 25, 4, and 6. He's the only player with more minutes. The only player in the playoffs with more minutes is Cade Cunningham. His shooting splits, 45, 38, 93. He's been the consistent number 1 option on a 7 seed that got... Oh, wow. JD just got timed out by Oreo the cat. Wow. How long does it say he's timed out for? Does it say how long he's timed out for? Oh, and JD Walker just timed out Oreo. Wow. Wait. Oh, I have to time them out, I think? Or the mods do? Let me see. How do I do this? Mod actions. Unmod. I could warn. I'm going to time him out. There you go. All right. He's been timed out 10 minutes. And then Oreo the cat, you've also been timed out by JD. Actually, that one doesn't count. But he did spend his channel points. Sorry, Oreo. You're getting timed out as well, bro. Sorry. Peace. Oh, and it deletes all their messages too? Oh, that's terrible. Oh, they're going to be so mad when they come back. Dude, they're going to come back and I'm going to go, all right, power hour's over, and I'm going to take the 5-minute break. Dang, that stinks, bro. Dude, JD and Oreo, dude, that's so funny. Ha ha, they're not here. Ha! Thunder stink, Wemby's a joke. Thunder stink, Wemby's a joke. Wemby's bad, Wemby's averages are bad. SGA's a little girl. Thunder stink. Guys, say mean things about the Thunder and about the Spurs. Hurry, they're gone. Dude, they're going to come back and just start timing me out. That'd be crazy. Darn it, my lumbar support is not working. At number 5 on my list, listen, so Tyrese Maxey. He's number 1 option on a 7 seed that got past what many people are calling the best team in the East. He had 30 points in a game 6 and 7. He plays great defensively and runs the entire offense. Tyrese Maxey got to be on this list. At 5, we got to crown the king, brother, LeBron James. Averaging 24, 6, and 8 at 41 years old without his number 1 option. I mean, bro, he stepped up on a team. It's not the best constructed team in the playoffs. He went up against a Rockets team that's younger, faster, bigger, and more athletic, and he went and knocked them out in 6 games. LeBron James is an animal, and he's got to be top 5 on this list. At 6, I've got Karl Anthony Towns. He's averaging 19, 11, and 6. He's the focal point on offense and the reason that New York got past Atlanta. They switched from Brunson running the offense to Cat, and ever since then, New York has looked like the best team in basketball. He's playing great defense every night and shows up on both sides of the floor on this one. He's the number one option, I think, on this New York Knicks team. He would be over OG, but OG's just been so consistent. I can't not have OG up there. At number 7, I do have Joel Embiid. Man, he'd be higher if he played in more games. It's kind of tough. The dude's averaging 25, 8, and 6. He's only played in 5 games, though, so a little bit hard for me to put him up a little bit higher than 7 when he hasn't played nearly as much as the other guys have. He just comes into the lineup and completely changes the entire game plan for whatever team is facing him. And without him, this team is a first-round exit. At 8, I have Jalen Brunson. He's got 27 points per game. He's shooting very, very well, and 6 assists. He's been nasty in the playoffs and is shooting efficiently, 49 from the field, 38% from 3. But his defense is just so bad, I couldn't really put him much higher on this. If you're the guy who everyone's targeting on defense, I struggled to put you much higher than where I got Brunson right now. But shout out to him, he's been unbelievable. At number 10, I do have Victor Wembanyama. He's below average in scoring, rebounding, assisting. His efficiency numbers from the regular season are also not great. He's just... Offensively, he's not producing because he's got Gobert on him, right? He got his concussion early on. He hasn't had the best offensive playoffs, but his defense is just so dominant that he deserves to be on this list. So Wemby, I got him at 9. A lot of people put him higher, but he just hasn't really been producing on offense the way he usually does. All the other guys on this list, I think, all the other guys on this list are performing above expectation, where I think Wemby is performing slightly below expectation, but he's so dominant on defense, he had to be on this list. And at number 10, bro, got to give love to my guy, Tobias Harris. He's got 7 straight 20-point games. Everyone was saying Detroit has no number 2 option for Cade on offense. Everyone was saying that Detroit has no number 2 option for Cade on offense, and Tobias has been insanely awesome in that role. He heard all the noise, and he just stepped up. 7 straight 20-point games is such an awesome feat for a guy like Tobias Harris. He is so needed for that Pistons team. And one of the reasons that the Pistons have been playing as well as they have is because of Tobias Harris. I think I timed him out for too long. I feel bad. Because on my best day, I'm a child of God. On my worst day, I'm a child of God. Oh, every day is a good day. And you're the reason why I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. How do I turn on followers only chat? I'm trying to turn that on. Never mind, it is on. I can't go back and untime them out. That timeout thing is going to be nasty. Fellas, we got about 3 minutes left before I take my 5-minute break. I wanted to go over the funniest 5 things that I think could happen in the draft lottery on Sunday. The NBA draft lottery balls will be pulled on Sunday, and I wanted to jump into what I think would be the 5 funniest scenarios for the lottery. At number 5, at the bottom of the list, Mavs going back-to-back number 1 overall picks. Everyone said Cooper Flagg was reparations for Silver trading away Luka Doncic. It turns out Cooper Flagg and AJ DeBonsta... That's not a sentence. I guess the asking price was not just Cooper Flagg. I think it's Cooper Flagg and AJ DeBonsta. The question is, does one Luka Doncic equal a Cooper Flagg plus AJ DeBonsta? I guess we will find out. But Mavs going back-to-back at number 1 overall would be absolutely hilarious. At number 4, this one is just so mean, but I got the Wizards picking at 5. It's like the worst they could pick. The Wizards are a team. Last year, they had the best odds to get number 1. Didn't get him. This year, once again, worst record in the league, best odds to get number 1. It's a team that's kind of trying to. I love the idea of them going after AD and Trae Young in the offseason, then also falling outside of the top 4. It's just such a sad franchise, and I would just love to pile onto despair and see them even get sadder. At number 3 would be the Hornets winning the number 1 overall pick. I just love the idea of the team with the lowest odds winning the number 1 overall pick. And right now, that's Charlotte. They have a 0.5% chance of getting number 1 overall. It'd be so funny if they won it. Plus, they already have so many guards. It'd be hilarious to add like a 5th guard to this team. Who would sit on the bench? Who would they bench? Be awesome. At number 2, I have Indiana picking in the top 4. I think the East was super fun this season, and you have a few teams on the rise over there, and everyone has forgotten about how good this Pacers team actually is. Adding a number 1 overall pick to this team would be so awesome. They're also the team that got in trouble for tanking. It'd be funny if they're the ones that got fined. They had the most egregious tanking act when they sat their players in the fourth quarter in a game that they were up on Miami, and then turned around and got the number 1 overall pick. It'd just be so funny if Silver changed all these rules because of what the Pacers did, and they sneak in and get the number 1 overall pick. See ya, bye Adam. It also is a pick that belongs to the Clippers for the Ivanka Zubac trade, but it's top 4 protected. So 1, Indiana in the top 4 would be just great for them to see them get the pick. 2 would mean the Clippers lose out on their pick, which anytime the Clippers lose out on something, I am happy about it. And then number 1, by far, the funniest thing that could happen in the NBA draft, OKC winning it. Oh my gosh, dude. Especially after this week with all the discourse around OKC, the funniest thing in the world would be if they win the number 1 overall pick. Honestly, the sports media world would probably blow up, and it would be a top 5 Twitter moment of all time. It's also a little bit of added fun here. That pick is technically the Clippers pick, stemming back from the Paul George trade, and I just love watching the Clippers fail. Man, dude, OKC picking number 1 in the NBA draft lottery, it would light the world on fire. Who's even going to be number 1 prospect this year? There are a couple of guys. AJ DeBonsta is one of these names. I like Caleb Wilson a lot. I think he's going to be the best player from this draft personally. You know, a lot of people like Darius Acuff. Cameron Boozer is a name. Darren Peterson. There's a lot of talent at the top of this draft. A lot of talent. It's kind of like a loaded draft. So this one's really, really important. But here's the situation I want to paint for you guys before we go to break. OKC has their own pick. That's going to be probably, 29 or 30 at this point. It's definitely going to be like top 20 or 27, 28, 29, or 30. And then they also have the Clippers lottery pick. OKC only has 1 spot on their roster, though, because of how many picks they've had. If they draft 2 guys, they're going to have to cut players. So they only have 1 pick. I think what OKC is going to do is they're going to package both of their first-round picks and try to move up in the draft. It's going to be bad. Whatever happens with OKC in this draft, it's going to be bad. I cannot wait for Sunday when the lottery balls do drop. It's the most entertaining thing that the NBA does is drop their balls, and we are absolutely going to be here for it on TBWZ. Thank you for watching the Power App.